Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of the Long Dudes podcast. I'm your host, Chandler, and this is my co-host, Boyle.
Hey guys, glad to be back. Episode number two of the Long Dudes podcast.
Hey, it's dude. All right. But hey, today we're joined by two special guests. We are making a special podcast for the 4th of July. I'm sorry for the 2-week hiatus.
We're not sorry.
We've been very busy, but we brought 2 extra people to make up for last week. So I want to introduce the Presley Martin.
Hey guys, glad to be here.
And Jackson Naylor Cook.
Hey, how's it going?
So we got Waxman's
Double
World.
the dudes on the Long Dudes podcast to make up for an absence.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really excited to be back. Last episode was amazing. I talked about it a little bit yesterday on my podcast. Go check that out at CarnageCBGaming on Anchor or Spotify. Excuse me. And so today we're going to be talking about the top 15 Americans of all time. We are in the spirit of July the 4th, America's Freedom Day.
We are.
But it's free here every day in America, 365 days a year.
Damn straight.
So, but we just wanted to have a special podcast for you guys. So we have the top 15 Americans of all time. So these are only individuals that were born in America, that were raised in America, that lived in America. And we are not doing presidents, so we are staying away from that. That'll be a separate podcast on another channel. I believe Waxman's World is taking that up.
Yes, sir.
Beating his chest like a fucking idiot. Without further ado, we're going to send it to Presley with our first honorable mention, one that did not make our top 15 list, and we're going to pass it around the table. So, Presley, who is your honorable mention?
My honorable mention was, and I'm kind of surprised this guy did not make the list, but Frank Sinatra was the honorable mention. Now, he had he was one of the most famous people in the country during the 1940s and 50s, so I feel like with his role in music and in movies and the fact that he helped the mob get JFK elected, I feel like he also played a pretty important role in American history.
He's a New Yorker. I'm walking in.
I'm walking.
So, all right, Frank Sinatra. I listen to his music. He's still very popular nowadays.
Yeah,
I think we had a couple people on there that we just think edged him out a little bit in a non-gay way. So top 15, Frank Sinatra is right outside, but I think it's a good honor.
Chandler, that's offensive. I'm going to have to check your privilege after this
edging?
show.
You don't want to edge me?
And I think it's important to include on this list that these are people that we viewed had a significant impact on American culture or American history.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you might not agree, but these, most famous.
Yes. So, it's not your average Joe, but I think if you go around the world, you should generally hear these people. If you go to England or if you go to Japan and you can actually understand their language, they'd probably be able to know probably 10 out of 15 on this list, at least. But, all right, we're going to send it to Jackson for his honorable mention.
Also, plug R.I.P. England for losing today in the World Cup match.
R.I.P. U.S. motherfucking A.
There we go. But I'm going to go... We're looking New York, Coney Island. Every 4th of July, there's a hot dog eating contest. And the current hot dog eating champion of the world, Joey Chestnut, beating Kobayashi, who was known to have a dynasty in the hot dog eating community. So I'm picking Joey Chestnut as my honorable mention.
He's a world record holder. How many years has he won in a row?
He is a world record holder.
There's one year he lost. There's 1 year that he lost, but ever since he beat Kobayashi, like in the early 2010s, he's won. So he's won at least probably
8 or 9.
Yeah.
You're like Max Kellerman getting super hyped up.
I feel like since 2011, we can look it up. I feel like since 2011, he's only lost once.
Yes, and that was a shock.
And he holds a bunch of different world records.
Yeah. Joey Chestnut.
He's an eating machine.
I know Boyle.
literal
Morgan's also a big fan of Joey Chestnut.
Though,
from what I've been told,
it's kind of a little sus though. Just like swallowing dicks for like a living. That's
hot dogs. on the 4th of July, what are you going to have? You're going to have a nice cold beer, maybe a natter day.
And a nice log down your throat.
Maybe a natter day, and you're going to have a hot dog. So
that's
shout
out to our real quick plug, shout out to our non-monetary sponsor whatsoever, Natter Days.
Yeah, Natter Days.
Big
Natural Light.
Yeah. They don't follow us on any sort of social media, and they don't give us any money, but they still sponsor us.
Yeah, we're going to get the plug sooner or later. But all right, so Joey Chestnut gets the bid for Jackson as like the last honorable mention that didn't make our top 15. Boyle, who is your honorable mention?
Mine is going to be a twofer. Mine is going to be William S. Harley and Arthur Davidson, the founder of Harley Davidson.
That's
Okay.
a good one.
If you got to think about it, though, you might laugh. Started in 1903. They survived the Great Depression, and they are on, like, motorcycling isn't as big as it once was, but if you think of a motorcycle, you think of Harley Davidson.
That's true.
It's a household name.
Yeah,
Household
seriously, they've probably grossed. I mean, I could look up the figures, but I'm going to guess they've grossed at least $10 billion since the founding. That's
Oh,
massive.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least 10
Harley
billion.
Davidson, I believe, is a public
I mean,
company.
you better be able to do that in 100 years, though.
Yeah, true.
I guarantee you, I think Harley Davidson's a
Yeah.
public
Wait,
company.
so who's your other one? Are those both
Two
the founders?
Two founders.
Oh,
Two
okay, okay,
founders.
gotcha.
William S. Harley and Arthur Davidson.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. Yeah, all right. Mine, I feel like everyone's had fairly serious ones, but mine, honestly, I think it kind of could fit on the list. It would definitely be a 15-14 slot. But Bill Cosby, America's dad, featured.
Until about 3 years ago when he kind of came up into the public light again, I could definitely see that.
Yeah, I mean,
Bill
yeah,
Cosby.
I mean, even right now though, he wished everyone a good Happy Father's Day. He's a good guy. Wife still loves him. He's in prison, but not a big
He's
deal.
blind, too.
Is he blind?
Allegedly,
blind. He's
he
wow.
claims to be
Allegedly blind. Is that like
Allegedly.
another criminal act? But no, he's a good dude. I think he gets a bad rap.
I don't know if he gets a bad rap.
No, I'm just
I
kidding.
mean,
Okay.
he did drug lots of women.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Okay, well, so did Bill Clinton, but we all know that he got away with that.
Nice.
Monica Lewinsky, R.I.P.
Yeah, so those are our honorable mentions. We had
alive.
five
Still
honorable
RIP.
mentions. So if you want to make this a top 20, then go for it. But those are our honorable mentions. So we're going to get right into our top 15 list. At number 15, I'm going to start us off. We have O.J. Simpson.
Interestingly, you chose two guys from our last podcast.
We came to a decision. This was a group decision here. But yeah, O.J. Simpson honestly speaks to a lot of America's current modern values. I mean, honestly,
That's sad.
it is kind of
Necessary.
sad. But at the same time, that Bronco chase will go down in history as one of like the biggest things on national television of all time. Like every TV was streaming that the day that
Yep.
happened.
I think they broke through. I think the NBA Finals was going on around that time.
Yeah.
And they broke NBA Final coverage to show
He-
the chase.
And you got to think OJ too. He was in Hertz commercials. He was in the Naked
Yeah.
Gun movies. I mean,
Yeah.
he was a very public,
Hey.
well beloved figure.
He was.
Fun fact, like, that whole entire situation was actually right around when Chandler and I were both born back in July of 1994.
What a time to be alive!
Wow.
I know.
Great.
I know.
I feel
That's a plug for Chandler's and I's birthday coming up
I feel
soon,
like
so-
honorable mentions for OJ would have to be Johnny Cochran and Robert Kardashian.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Johnny
is
Cochran.
He
Hey.
basically created the Kardashians and who they are today, too.
Hey.
Without him, they would not be in the limelight getting all the fame that they have.
Hey, if the glove doesn't fit, you
Glove
have
don't
to
fit.
acquit.
Right, because he was totally innocent.
When I put him in my reasoning, I basically said, great American football player, and glove don't fit. So
I know it shouldn't matter, but we'll get to later talking about the ethnicity of the jury of OJ's trial. We could talk about that in another podcast, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, but I think he secures our bottom spot in the 15. I honestly, whether you think he's a great guy or not, he's got a huge piece of American history and everyone knows who OJ is. So
I mean,
think it's pretty big.
Whatever he does on Twitter, he could start slashing his way through the.
He's
top
already
15.
got 839,000 followers
Hey.
on Twitter.
Nolan Enlow's first on his list.
That's almost like 839,000 times as many as we have. So
We're getting
giving
there
him
We're getting
props.
there.
But all right, at
Almost
number
1,000.
14, Presley, you want to take number 14?
Number 14, Al Capone, notorious Chicago mobster. Capone is a pretty public figure. He was very big during the bootlegging era, during Prohibition and the Great Depression. He obviously was a criminal, but he was kind of viewed as almost a folk hero in the sense that he was kind of a man of the everyday, the working class.
He kind of ended Prohibition, honestly. He was a part of it.
Yeah, he did, and
Hey, we
You
wouldn't
know-
be drinking Natter Days if it weren't for Al Capone.
yeah,
That's true.
It's true.
True. Thank
man,
you,
I'm gonna
Al.
have to
Thank
go
you,
back.
Al.
For better or
Practice
worse, I
that,
mean,
man.
you can't deny the impact that the guy had on
Yeah.
American history, and you can generally say the name Capone, and everyone everyone knows who that is. So I don't think he should be any higher on the list than he is, but I definitely think he's worth
noteworthy.
putting on there.
He's
He's
noteworthy.
very noteworthy.
Yeah.
Here's Al Capone.
All right, number 13, we have Jackson. Who are you coming up with?
I'm surprised she's actually on our list because she did get captured, so she can't be considered a hero if you get captured or you just don't survive or anything.
Oh, Jesus.
But somewhere still, maybe in the Bermuda Triangle, Amelia Earhart and her plane still lie there. But in all seriousness, Amelia Earhart, obviously, early on in the aviation history, was a key part, and also her being a woman, I think, even makes that her role even bigger.
Yeah.
So, Amelia Earhart, number 13, lucky number 13 for her.
Is she our only woman on this list?
I would.
I'm not going to say that because
Strongest woman in American history.
I mean, she
Amelia
did.
Earhart.
She's pretty big, though.
Was the first female to fly across the Atlantic.
Yeah.
And try to circumnavigate the globe.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Failed.
things happen.
Bermuda Triangle.
She tried.
She might have got what? That was probably in the 30s, wasn't it?
32 maybe.
Maybe
I don't know.
maybe try to fly
let's not
over
fuck up those
Japan or
Yeah, I don't know. She's 13.
Yeah.
13.
She's a solid 13, I think. I think she's got a good aviation impact and a strong woman in history. So
Yes.
it's a good spot. All right, number 12, Boyle, who you got?
We have Thomas Edison, which could shock a couple people either way. Obviously
shocking.
known as one of the greatest inventors of all time, but he is also very notorious to be known to have stolen ideas. I think it's kind of common knowledge nowadays that he pretty much did steal the idea of electricity and the light bulb from Nikola Tesla. Mm-hmm. But he's got over 1,000 patents in his name. No matter how you slice it, he did invent electricity and the light bulb. And he was just an overall really big part of America then and America today. So
And Tesla's not American, so fuck
That's
'em.
true. That's
Thomas Edison's
true.
there. Hey, and it speaks to American culture. We have someone that stole ideas and profited off them. That's America right there. So, yeah, Thomas Edison, I think, definitely needs to be on there. I think every kid growing up is taught that Thomas Edison was the light bulb guy.
No, but he was.
Yeah, he was. No,
But-
he was.
Significant.
But
Yeah, I think everyone will say that. Like, oh yeah, Edison.
let's just
but then,
be real. Thomas Edison is almost the stereotypical American, letting someone else do all the work and then taking the credit for it.
I wish Christopher Columbus was American because that man would have been on our list.
Yep.
He basically just claimed America.
Yep.
He should be on there. He's another honorable mention. But all right. Anyways, all right. So I think he secures a good spot at number 12. Number 11, I've got Bill Gates. I think Bill Gates has kind of shaped the modern world of technology. Huge in computers. If you don't know who Bill Gates is, he's the creator and founder of Microsoft. So he's got everyone that's an Xbox stan. You guys can suck Bill Gates' dick real quick.
Yep.
Big
and
Xbox
the
guy.
modern PC, PC Master Race is also going to Bill Gates. So he's profiting off of two of the biggest video game industries, just two big technology industries in general. If you've ever worked on any computer ever in the workforce or in school or in anything, it's probably Bill Gates. So sorry for all you Mac and Linux people, if there are Linux people out there, but Bill
Never heard
Gates
of him.
dominates.
And he's a pretty decent guy too.
And he's a great guy.
He donates,
He's had a big
He
impact
donates
on-
so much money to
Yeah.
charities. Him and his wife Melinda. They're good people.
Yeah.
They're good people.
I mean, he's donated billions of dollars. hasn't
Yeah,
he?
billions.
It's been billions. So, thank you.
Good one, boy.
Sorry.
my stomach really hurt. I had to get that off my chest. I
All right. So we've done we've done 11 through 15. Now we're gonna hit number 10. Boyle, who do you got?
Number 10, we are going to go with Muhammad Ali, quite possibly the greatest fighter of all time. I think
he is.
Yeah, I don't think you can question that.
Him
maybe.
or Tyson.
Yeah,
Him or Tyson.
Him or Tyson, but different
Mike
eras. We'll never know. But anyway, known for the Thriller in Manila. Just known as the greatest. That was his name. But, I mean, he did a lot for the community. He did a lot for...
And also,
Okay.
I mean,
Go
okay,
ahead,
go.
no,
No,
please.
well, I didn't know if you were gonna get this. Cassius Clay
Initially
became
Cassius
Islam, became Islamic.
Yeah.
He's very, very outspoken.
Kentucky boy.
That's true.
Louisville.
From Louisville.
Shout out Danny Smooth.
Did a lot for civil rights, without a doubt.
And also refusing to enter or go to the Vietnam War when he was drafted was also a big deal.
Draft dodger.
Yeah, draft dodger.
Yep.
No bone spurts for
What's
this
better,
one.
draft dodger or baby killer? I don't know.
He
may never know.
He would have been higher if he hadn't dodged his draft. But.
Yes.
All right, number 9, Jackson. Who do you have?
I got Paul Revere.
Paul Revere. What did Paul Revere do?
If anything we know Paul Revere about is that he warned us that the British were coming.
That's true.
And they were.
He was one of the founding fathers, good patriot
right.
back in the day.
Boston Tea Party?
Boston Tea Party as well. A lot of good things to say about Paul Revere.
Didn't sign the Declaration, though.
No, I thought he signed the Declaration. Boyle brought that up, but
was a
apparently
silversmith.
I was wrong.
Yeah, he was just a silversmith.
You're not
But
getting it right.
he built the whole lantern chain that basically warned us of, all the shit going down, and we got the Minutemen out there in perfect timing to stop any onslaughts that could have potentially ended the war and not in America's favor. We wouldn't have July the 4th coming up in a couple days. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
we
Paul
wouldn't have.
Revere, shout out homeboy real quick.
America
Gang shit.
doesn't lose.
Yeah, so at number 9, we have Paul Revere. Number 8, the baseball guy over here. Who do you got?
We got Babe Ruth, obviously.
Ruth.
Probably. I mean,
Babe.
he's playing against paper boys and plumbers. So you can't say Babe Ruth was the greatest of all time.
No.
He
That's
still
not the
hit.
question,
He
though.
still hit 716 home runs in his career, which is like
714, I thought.
somewhere in there. Something real. It was 14. You're right.
714.
The largest amount
Fact
without taking steroids.
That would be
Hank Aaron,
but
755.
Oh, you're right. You're
But-
right.
I
mean,
couldn't tell you how many Barry Bonds did, to be completely honest.
Barry Bonds who did
It doesn't matter. It
steroids.
has an asterisk next to it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Everyone knows who Babe Ruth is. Everyone
Hank
knows
Aaron.
what the Curse of the Bambino is. Obviously, the Boston
So
Red Sox
swat.
traded Babe Ruth to the New York Yankees for like nothing, like $100. I think it was literally $100.
I think it was a washing machine from Semi-Pro, maybe?
Yes.
I don't know.
But I mean, he's a monumental guy.
considerations.
When you think of that era, just in general, not just baseball, but pop culture,
Yeah.
Babe Ruth is definitely going to come to mind.
Yeah, I was
And-
just about to say that. I was like, advertisements and stuff were huge. Like,
Yeah.
he started the whole advertising industry, like, I
he
mean, we
loved
think
himself
of...
a good beverage. That's for sure.
Did love it. Yeah, but yeah, just all the
Hey.
different products that he, helped
He-
advertise, that put sports in the advertising light.
He had one hell of a diet. Drink a couple beers every day, smoke some cigars, eat hot dogs before.
We
every
should have
game.
put
How old
Bartolo
did he-
Colon in there.
He played for 22 seasons from 1914 to
When did Babe Ruth
1935.
die?
1948.
So how old was he when he died?
That
He couldn't have been
is
older
a
than
good
50.
question.
Go up.
Babe Ruth.
I'm thinking with a diet.
1948.
It didn't give an age though.
Yeah.
So 1895 to 1948. That means he was
Okay, so
53.
He was 53. So I'm thinking that life of beer and cigars kind of caught up to him at a
Wouldn't that be
younger
63?
age.
No.
Wonder what he died of.
Oh,
Before- he had like
95,
hey, who died
95.
before Lou Gehrig or Babe Ruth?
I think Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
I think Lou Gehrig actually.
But yeah, he's pretty big, and I think if you just if you watch Sandlot, they talk about Babe Ruth the entire movie,
Well,
and
let's-
that's just American.
Get this. In his era, he had the record for home runs, RBIs, walks, slugging percentage, and on base percentage.
Yeah,
And he was also one hell of a pitcher.
And a couple of those records still stand today in 2019.
he
was also-
did what my AAU, no, not my AAU, my shitty baseball league coach told me: keep the eye on the ball. He was really fucking good at that shit.
He was one of the first 5 people inaugurated in the Baseball Hall of Fame, too. So.
Ty Cobb was also in that class.
Just to let you guys know,
Honest
I don't
Wagner
know
was
shit
too.
about baseball, and I'm fucking terrible.
Honest
at it,
Wagner
so.
was in the first 5.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, there's
so,
no disputing that he's one of the greatest Americans of all time.
So we had number 8 at Babe Ruth, but yes, he is a top 10 All-American, unlike Jackson. We're
yeah,
gonna go to
sure.
number 7, which we got Presley. What do you have?
All right. So number 7. This is part of the list where we're starting to get into the heavy hitters here. So number 7.
No, that would be number 8. Literally a heavy hitter.
Please.
Shut up.
Okay. So we're in the
Please
heavy
walk
hitters.
into heavy traffic.
Just
Please walk
saying.
into heavy traffic.
So number 7. I'm named
Yeah.
after the guy. There's only certain people in this country that you can say 1 or 2 words and everybody knows, and it's the king. At number 7, Elvis Presley. This one goes out for Mike Martin. Mike Martin will like this one. I know he'll listen to this at some point, but Elvis
Will
Presley
he
at
like
number
that he
7.
said 7 though?
Huh?
Will he be? Okay
I think
with
he's
him?
gonna like number 6 better.
He would put him at number 1, hands no question. But I mean, you can't deny the impact the guy had. I mean, you say one word, Elvis, and instantly, I mean, he was a global phenomenon. Everybody knows who he is. Started his career in the 50s. Was popular in the 50s. Left to go to the military in the 60s. Wasn't a draft dodger like Muhammad Ali. Served his time in the military, and then came back.
That's why Elvis Presley's ahead of Muhammad Ali.
And he restarted his career in the 60s all the way through the 70s. But, I mean, the guy paved the way for
He shaped rock.
rock. I mean, any type of music moving forward. I mean, even the Beatles don't exist without Elvis. I mean, Led Zeppelin, all these, monster bands are based around him. And he's
We don't get the dirt on Netflix without Elvis Presley.
That's true. None of those
Kirsten's
bands
favorite
exist.
Netflix movie of all time.
Yeah. So,
Shout out Kirsten one time. Just chilling.
but I mean, the guy was a huge figure for sure.
Hey, and without
So-
Elvis, we wouldn't have the name on the Presley Martin that's over here.
I would have
Best
thought you were
American
named,
athlete
I
of
thought
all
you were
time.
named after Elvis Costello.
Costello Martin.
Mike will not like that part, but nonetheless, a huge historical figure and still pretty well known to this day.
Yeah.
So we'll continue here with number 6. This, you say one number and everybody knows who this is, and that's number 3. This one goes out to Ben Hendricks. Number 6 on our list, number 3, but number 1 in your heart, Dale Earnhardt Sr. This is a no-brainer. I mean, the guy shaped NASCAR, which became a national sport because of him.
Phenomenon. Yeah.
It's a national phenomenon.
7-time champ, won the Daytona 500. I mean, laid the groundwork for, Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, all these guys that came after him. Unfortunately, he was wiped out in turn 4.
He was murdered.
At Daytona.
He was murdered.
He was not murdered. It's called
was-
racing, Jackson.
he was
and
murdered.
You can wreck in racing, believe it or not.
He was murdered by Kenny
But-
Schrader.
Murdered in cold blood.
He instantly, people say number 3, senior. You see that mustache with the black hat and the sunglasses, and everybody knows
Love
that number. That number 3 black GM Goodwrench car. Everybody knows who that is. So that's a no-brainer.
I mean, the guy drove fast and turned left better
He-
than anyone
he
to ever
did.
really do it.
he did. Yeah, I mean, you got to.
Honestly,
Can't leave him
I
off.
think I'm the only guy here that doesn't really care about NASCAR and racing and stuff like that in general. And whenever I would go and play those NASCAR video games or arcade games or anything like that, I would always choose Senior Star every
and
time.
And I would almost make this argument with Senior too. He, out of everybody on our list that is deceased, I think, with the exception of only a few, most are.
I think all of them.
All of them except Bill Gates
and OJ.
OJ. Yeah, are all deceased, which is kind of interesting. But I think he definitely. I mean, Senior's been dead for 18 years now, and I mean, he still I think is as popular, if not more popular, than he's ever been, even that long after his death. So that speaks to his legacy.
Yeah. He's pretty huge. All right, so at number 6, we had Dale Earnhardt Sr. At
top
number
5.
5, we're rounding out the top 5 with these
Okay.
picks. We got Jackson with number 5.
We got actually a twofer here
Ooh.
at number 5, and that's the Wright brothers. Because obviously Orville and Wilbur Wright go hand in hand.
Yeah, they have
Yeah, you can't separate the two; they're intertwined in history. But
Like
obviously,
Michael and Josh Neidick.
to. Jesus Christ.
Okay, too soon. But obviously the Wright brothers are huge in the aviation industry as they were the first ones to create an airplane and fly. And we all know that the aviation industry is big league in today's in today's world.
I mean, just think about transportation as a whole, has been revolutionized. I mean, you're more likely to die in a car crash than you are in a plane crash, and there's been, you can fly across the world and faster than anybody ever thought could even happen in the 40s or 50s, whenever that happened.
You can get to New York and London in
Or maybe it was earlier.
Yeah, just don't fly on Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. But other than that, I mean, it's completely safe.
And obviously,
Or near the Twin Towers.
and it's a shame. It's a shame
Had to throw
that
another joke in
the
there.
Wright brothers, people want to get rid of their entire legacy by ending all flights, like
Green New Deal.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Cory Booker, as they want to get rid of. They want to do train transportation instead of flights because they say flying causes too much pollution. But
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, that doesn't.
It's still
that's a different.
revolutionized
Good luck.
what
That's a different topic. But
Yeah, they like planes are huge, and I just think everything revolving around people or anything flying, like
Planes are pretty
drones.
big.
Drones are included in that.
Physically.
Like, yeah, anything.
Planes are
that's-
large.
Yeah, it's just crazy to think about. Like
planes
you know,
are large.
Just imagine
Boeing.
not having that and being like, okay,
Those
to get to
men.
point A to point B, I'd have to either drive there or I have to drive and go on a boat. Like that's
Right.
yeah, that's ridiculous.
the
So
world's
that's
completely
pretty
different.
awesome. So there are our fifth person in the top 5. At number 4, we have the Ben Franklin.
Yeah, he
Still
definitely
pissed.
had to be top.
Syphilis.
I'm still pissed.
He's got a lot of
We didn't
syphilis.
put Dale Senior.
Didn't he
over
die on
it.
July 4th?
No,
Yes, he did.
I think
that was
he might
Thomas
have-
Jefferson
might
and,
have.
and John Adams.
No, it was Ben Franklin and John Adams.
No, it
Anyways,
was Thomas
so
Jefferson and
Ben
John
Franklin.
Adams.
We'll confirm this.
Ben Franklin. We originally had Dale Earnhardt Sr. ahead of him, which I
I'm a huge
was,
fan of.
I was
Huge
behind.
fan.
I was behind that.
Ben Franklin didn't die on July 4th.
died close to my birthday.
July'd on April, or he July.
He
He died
He
on April
July.
17th.
KYS.
He July'd it. He died on April
Ben
17th.
Franklin
April
Presley.
17th. Ben Franklin. I mean, I would argue that he is the most famous founding father that was not a president.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he, via my source Nolan Inlow, was famous for taking air baths. And he would lay around naked in his house with all his clothes off, obviously, and that would be what was considered an air bath. Not really sure how that was cleansing in any capacity.
Sounds good to me.
Hey,
That's what I do.
Ben Syphilis Franklin.
Yeah, but
Lot of
everybody
syphilis.
knows Ben Franklin, signer of the Declaration of Independence, major revolutionary, war time period figure.
Not a draft dodger.
Not a draft dodger,
Not a
not a
draft
baby
dodger.
killer. I don't know that he did a ton other than take air baths, but everybody knows his name, and
He discovered
he's
Everyone
on the
knows-
$100 bill.
No, he flew.
Everyone knows the
a
kite with the
key.
fucking key on
Yeah.
it. Everyone
He
knows that.
discovered
He's-
electricity.
He invented the printing press,
Discovered
which
it.
allowed Meryl Streep to make a movie about the Washington Post.
I don't think
to-
he invented the printing press.
I think he did.
I did.
Pretty sure that was
John
Johannes
Gutenberg.
Gutenberg.
Yeah, Johannes
But,
Gutenberg.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure
Yeah,
he
that was very
used the
German.
printing press.
He did use
some
it at
point.
some point in time.
But
He's on the
nonetheless,
$100 bill.
a big figure.
$100 bill?
Yeah,
He also
Yeah.
tricked
If you're dropping
Dwight into
Benjamins-
thinking he was real on The Office.
he did.
He
did. Him, exactly.
Yes. Ben Franklin did that.
Ben
Yes.
Franklin invented the harmonica, bifocal glasses, and the fire department.
Holy shit.
He invented
The fire department. Think about how many
Holy
lives
fuck.
he saved.
He said, I don't know, ass. That's a great article.
He did not. I am 100% sure he did not invent the printing press.
He did not.
Okay.
He didn't. But
He did not.
fire department's
He
huge. I
invented
didn't know that.
electricity, though.
That's big.
He did. He invented the lightning rod. It's completely different.
It's the
He
same
did.
thing.
But nonetheless, a huge American figure. Let's go.
Everyone
to
knows who Ben Franklin is.
Let's go to number 3.
number 3. Boyle.
Number 3, we are gonna go with Henry Ford. I had him in my top 3 of my personal list.
I think everyone did.
I think he hovered right around that top 3. Obviously, invented the assembly line. He really just kind of paved the way for all industry in the United States. So not only with the assembly line did he just boom industry as a whole, but like he was able to make automobile transportation affordable to millions of Americans. He was able to provide large wages just because he was able to just mass produce and just honestly, America would not be anything like it is. We would be more like Japan today.
Yeah.
Well, his company's still
Yeah.
around today. I mean,
Yeah,
it's one of the
seriously.
largest auto manufacturers in the world.
I'll have to look it up when Ford started his company.
But I
It was
mean,
before.
Maybe 1911 was the first Model T, or
Yeah,
around that
sounds
period.
Because he was also prevalent. I mean, he was still alive during World War II because I think he might have had a picture of Adolf Hitler on his desk.
That's a strong claim.
Hey,
Yes. I don't know if he was a Nazi, but
Little known fact.
He did not like Jewish people.
Henry Ford was a Democrat until 1918 when he went to college, and after he graduated college, he became a Republican.
Oh,
Wow, that's
interesting.
That's the reverse effect. of what
Interesting.
you normally expect.
Interesting.
Well, reverse effect of what happens now.
Yes.
But
Interesting.
I think back in the day it would have been normal.
Yeah, the note I made was he just literally shaped America into the way that it is today.
Yeah.
If you don't get the assembly line and just mass production as a whole,
Yeah.
America was built on our industrial revolution, and you wouldn't have that without Henry Ford.
Yeah. It's definitely one of the biggest pieces just in general. I mean, like, you can even think of just, like, Amazon. Amazon wouldn't be where it is right now without that.
True.
You know, like, some of the biggest companies you can think of wouldn't
Yeah.
be around with
Yeah.
what he did. So,
Yeah, I agree.
top 3 for sure. I have number 2. People are probably going to get mad this isn't number 1, but I think it makes a good case for definitely top 2. MLK. I think this is going to be probably the most serious one on ours with minimal jokes. Because MLK was the leader of everything we know, you know, like getting just black culture into America, you know, ending all the kind of like Civil War stuff that was still hanging around. You know, like Abraham Lincoln's credited for all that stuff, but they didn't really end racism, and racism's still not done. But I'm just saying, he made huge strides so that people aren't having separate water fountains. So yeah, I think MLK is pretty huge. He should definitely be in the top, you know, of everybody's list. Was most influential. I mean, he changed white racist people's minds daily.
Yeah.
He was a
you know.
notorious homophobe, though.
He was a notorious
hated-
homophobe. He
a
hated gay people.
serial adulterer. He was.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
He
We're
had
turning
girlfriends in
MLK into
every
Bill
town.
Cosby here.
No, he was a serial adulterer.
No, but MLK is definitely one of the biggest pieces of American history, of Black history, of, you know, I mean, he gets basically a whole month dedicated to him every year. So, I mean, to say he's not a big American piece,
I mean, he has his own
got a
day.
holiday.
He is.
he gets his own holiday, he gets his
He
own,
is.
pretty
He
much
has
his
a
own
holiday.
month, so he's huge.
It is nice to get that.
You'd
on
hate
board.
the month of June, though. I'm just putting that out there. Not to
Hated
slander
it.
not to slander the
Hated it.
guy's reputation. But
I mean, he was
Okay.
like very strongly Christian, so to say that he's a homophobe is accurate.
So he probably liked Mike Pence.
He probably would
Because
have
he's
Mike
also a
Pence
homophobe.
he loved himself some shock therapy.
He did.
Okay.
All right, so at number 1, the grand finale, the big drum roll. I'm not doing that. I started
doing
and I
it.
hate myself
Jackson
for
did
it.
Okay. I did it.
Jackson's sitting here going, drum roll.
I did just the fingers.
Sound like a fucking idiot. All right, who we got?
Neil Armstrong.
Neil, the
Not
fucking
Lance.
man. Armstrong.
Not Lance. We got
Lance should have been
Neil.
an honorable mention. I forgot.
No.
He should have. He did have testicular cancer. I mean,
got his
he's-
ball cut
Neil
off.
Armstrong.
Stripped all his
First,
titles.
hey, I
Sued by
know.
UPS for $1 billion.
Hey,
All right, Neil Armstrong. Sorry.
Neil Armstrong. I know we get a lot of hate from the group here.
No.
But there was a documentary on CNN. I know, fake news.
Oof.
About about Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin's, and I can't remember the third guy's name off the top
John
of my head.
Glenn?
No, not John
No,
Glenn.
Not John Glenn.
But well, at the end of the day, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin were the actual only two to land actually step foot on the moon. But CNN did a documentary, showed all the behind scenes of the trip to the moon and like everything it took behind that. And honestly, if you watch that documentary, it gives you a real insight on what type of technology that they had. And in all honesty, they should not have been. I don't know how they were able to make it to the moon and back safely.
Well, they didn't.
They made it to the
Because-
moon, Presley.
It's interesting how the set of all that, like the television set that they were working on.
They made it to the moon.
I'm being devil's advocate here. I think they did. There is a lot of controversy around that. I think
There is no
We
controversy.
got some good
There-
visual
there-
effects
there's
artists
a contro-
going on.
there's-
There is no
controversy around it.
controversy about that.
it's
Was
toss-up. No, I
was
mean,
the moon landing fake? Comment your
Absolutely
your
not.
thoughts.
comments below. I think
Absolutely not.
I think it was real. It was real.
Yeah.
I mean, and the guy. I mean, literally the first man to ever step foot on potentially the moon. So
I mean, he was the first man to step on
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
moon. Hey,
Or a
there's
TV set.
Maybe.
Hey, there's only,
maybe
there's only two countries.
maybe
two
he made
types
a
of
really
countries
good
in
flight
this
to
world.
Hollywood through a jet propelled thing.
Hey, there's only two types.
Challenger.
No, but in all seriousness, when you think of Neil Armstrong and you think of like America and that whole race to the moon and everything,
And
you know,
planting the
like
flag.
oh yeah, the flag on
ended
the, like,
and helped end the Cold War.
yeah. I mean, that was a huge thing. I mean, and just going out of this world literally to go to another planet, or not another planet, another spot in the universe.
Yeah.
That's outside of Earth is pretty crazy.
Back in 1969, which literally just 50 years before that, the Wright brothers invented flight,
Yeah.
and then
Come that far in 50 years.
50 years, it makes you think. We're hitting the 50th anniversary.
Another 50 years, and we had a sports car go over the moon, didn't we?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just saying, the wife of Stanley Kubrick, and Stanley Kubrick was the guy that filmed 2001: A Space Odyssey, which came out in like '68, I think. His wife, after he died, said that he filmed the fake moon landing. So
Yeah, you never know.
There's that. It's her word against
That's fake news.
against Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin's words.
Yeah, the CNN documentary is probably fake news too, so we don't know what to
That
believe.
is- I mean,
But-
it was
CNN is fake
real.
news.
Yeah,
Nonetheless, an important history.
I don't think you can actually dispute that.
Yeah, planting the American flag.
Yep.
Yeah, but
I think the Long Dudes podcast needs to go to Cape Canaveral sometime, just to watch a rocket shoot.
Yeah, we got to go check out NASA and see what they're all about, see what their set looks like. But yeah, so that's our top 15. So I'm gonna read through them real quick just so we can kind of have a good idea.
We
So
just
you guys,
did that for
No,
25,
just a
30
recap.
minutes.
Just
35 minutes.
Just a quick little recap. It's not a big
Just
deal.
a recap.
So we got at number 1 Neil Armstrong, MLK number 2, Henry Ford, Ben Franklin, the Wright brothers at number 5, Dale Earnhardt Sr. at number 6, Elvis Presley at number 7, Babe Ruth at 8, Paul Revere at 9, Muhammad Ali 10, Bill Gates, Edison, Amelia Earhart, Al Capone, and O.J. Simpson rounding out the top 15. I think, honestly, it's a pretty good list. I'm sure there's other people that can put in there.
Yeah.
But tweet us your comments at JackShitMedia. So that's Jack SHT Media on Twitter. Or tweet any one of us, CarnageCBGaming, Wax's World, or BMW underscore JSM. I can never fucking remember.
I don't either. It's
But
fine.
send all your comments or send us a voice message.
Just let us know who we missed.
I've never got one of the voice messages.
I haven't either.
I would love to hear it, send it to Long Dudes. So yeah, I think that's a good top 15 list. Do we have any other comments before we send it
Happy
off?
4th.
Happy 4th.
Happy 4th of July.
Drinking Saturday.
I'm gonna drink. Well, I'm not gonna drink Natty on the 4th.
No,
but
probably not. Even though they are a sponsor, but they don't pay us and they don't acknowledge us.
so
Or
they're-
follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, but go get a Natty if you want. If you haven't tried the strawberry lemonade, Pat McAfee endorsed it, so it's definitely an Indiana bread thing.
He's a tool.
Natural lights
He's
from
a
Milwaukee.
tool. Oof. All right, but yeah, so Long Dudes podcast. I think this is a pretty good one. I think it's good. I like it.
Real quick, let us know if you think we should do a top 15 worst Americans. We could bring the same set back.
That could be good.
It would be a very interesting
Top
conversation.
15 worst Americans of all time. I think just comes to
Benedict
mind.
Arnold might go number 1.
I just think Jared Fogel's up there. $5 footlongs for all the children.
Could we
Charles
see
Manson.
But all right,
Bundy.
I think we are signing out. We're at about 37 minutes. I think we're pretty good. So thank you guys for hopping on. This was a good podcast. Hope you guys had a good laugh. And until next time, take care.
Long Dudes.
Long Dudes.